Howard? Howard? Okay.
At least now you can. You see him moving his legs, you can see him. We need to get an iPad for the mayor, because we have an extra iPad that might work for this. I think we can add that. Well, I'm just wondering, we can set it up.
Sure, I think tonight, right, because it doesn't matter on 4:30, so I think he was just going to listen.
Oh, he was just gonna listen?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do the phone, okay, versus the visual. Oh, I'm sorry, he's going to listen with the phone, but have it on cable.
So do you still want me to call him?
Yes, if you would, please. 670-1953.
Okay, 0-1.
1670? Wow, you're holding up well.
605. Yeah, pieces of my cousin.
You were born in 1953, huh? I don't buy that.
Looking pretty good for that. See, he's older than me.
Yeah.
Birthday comes before mine.
Good for you, Jose.
Yeah.
No, I think that's Steve now, isn't it? I thought it said Steve.
I think Howard might be able to hear us.
Okay. Where's that Howard talking? Oops.
That was down on the second, on the highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his iPhone. Oh my God. Somebody struggle citizen quickly.
Who I think is going to karaoke for us.
He's gonna do karaoke.
Yeah.
We should have, I mean, we have a city flag. We should have like a city anthem.
Let's see. Come up with something good at work.
You are the lyrics, yes.
I mean, the first one is easy when we built the city.
Yeah,
That's a long song.
it is a long song.
Um,
Longer when you're singing.
you were just listening.
Yeah. I don't believe that.
That's another one we could have. Okay. You heard I named the postage machine.
Huh?
You heard I named the postage machine. Newman. Because it always has the last laugh. It's a pain in the butt. And you want it to go away. Hi, Howard, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
You can, it's muffled, but we can
Yeah,
hear
it's
you.
muffled, but we can hear. Okay. I think it was loud before it came over.
But he came
Over. Very muffled, though. Very muffled. So I'm gonna call the mayor.
Okay.
10 minutes, is that enough, or should I wait 5?
We'll be fine.
Maybe on your spot for videos for 9/11. Yes, please. Well, my wife did a pretty good job cutting my hair. She cut your hair?
From 10 feet away, or 6 feet away?
They're related, so
Okay.
you sure they're on the same last name? They go together. Right?
Let's see Leah's birth certificate, that will really tell us.
Well, they have a child together.
Okay. Would you have your tax receipt, your tax returns handy? Let's.
Mine are at the same place that Trump's are.
I'm doing my groceries after this, and I just have.
Hey, Howard, how are you? Good. You?
Well, don't drag the meeting out, because most of the stores are closing at 8.
Am I home? Okay, what?
It's around there.
Yeah. I'm in my basement.
So, but I don't want you dragging the meeting down just so you can get out of it. That's what I was worried about.
Oh.
No, Lamont just resigned from the HRC.
So you've been working?
His term was up.
Yet another year. I mean, I can't believe it took me so long, honestly.
Oh, he's moving to Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. Apparently commuting back to this meeting is more. Guess he won't meet the residency
I
requirement.
was gonna say, how long did the residency take him?
So, I did not know that's where
See
Appalachian.
that room? You see that little right room?
Yeah.
Blue.
It sometimes it could be the camera. It's probably really red.
The camera adds a really ugly color.
But I did not know where Appalachian State was. I did not realize it was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I thought it was further north than that. They're the ones who upset Michigan.
It's like in the mountains. It looks really cool there, actually.
Because, like the Appalachians.
Yes.
This is the, it's right there when he was, after the training down Georgia Southern.
Okay.
And it's up in the mountains, it's kind of leveled off a flat spot there, and part of the inclines are that, instead of this light snow coming down, of course, everybody says, you're from South Dakota, you're used to this. So he said, I wear shorts on the sideline the whole game.
Whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was more like Virginia or West Virginia, and it was just North Carolina.
He said it's a very pretty stadium, and
Yeah.
But that's a bigger school. I mean, they're one AA like us, but I don't know.
No, they moved up.
Oh, did they go full D1?
Yeah.
I guess so. He did what I wish he
Yeah.
was doing.
I mean, it's like 14,000, 15,000. We had a friend that moved there, and it seems like a really neat little town. Trying to
19,280 students, 1,705 undergrads, 1,700 graduates. Well, good for him. I mean, that's where it comes to work.
Yeah, we didn't
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep.
Yes.
Julia, where's your helper?
She actually fell asleep. She typically falls asleep around 10 or 11 p.m., so we'll see how this goes.
My helper's a dog. You can't see him. He walks between my legs when I'm trying to talk.
Maybe when we're making motions, could somebody, would you say your name so it's a little easier for me to catch who made the motion and second it?
Okay.
And if they don't, Mike, I'll try and repeat it when I do the vote. We have a motion by so-and-so, second by so-and-so.
Thank you. I just was trying to catch some of them at noon, all coming out of the same speaker. It all sounded the same.
Yeah, that's tough. On the Dawn screen, are we going to be able to see the room here? But I don't know if I should go because I can't see what the room looks like. Are you guys ready to go? What
Yep.
about City Hall?
We're ready at City Hall.
Okay. All right. It's 7 o'clock, time for our regularly scheduled council meeting, although it is a bit irregular this time around. Hold on one moment, sorry. Mike, can you take the roll?
Collier Wise,
Here?
Helwig,
Here.
Holland,
Here.
Humphrey,
Here.
Price,
Here.
Sorensen, Ward,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Mayor Powell.
Okay, We don't all have a view of the flag, but we'll join together and say the Pledge of Allegiance at this point. I pledge to the flag of the United States
of America,
America, and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which
which stands
one
one
nation.
under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
I think next time we might just assign that to one person. You did a great job, Rich. You might have this job going forward. All right, we have minutes from March 16th special meeting, March 16th regular meeting, March 24th emergency meeting, and March 30th emergency meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Tom and a second by Howard. All in favor, we'll call the roll. Aye.
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 Here, aye.
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 Motion carries. Adoption of the agenda. John or Mike, are there any changes or additions?
No.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
So move, Howard.
Second, Catherine.
We've got a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. A roll call, please.
Collier-Wise,
Aye.
Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Agenda is adopted. Visitors to be heard. Addressing the council. Persons addressing the council shall use a microphone at the podium, or I believe they can send their questions or comments through the YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yes, James said.
Okay. If you are in the room, please raise your hand to be recognized. Go to the podium, state your name and address. For items not on the agenda, members of the public may speak under visitors to be heard on any topic not on the agenda. Remarks are limited to 5 minutes and no decision will be made at this time. For agenda items, public testimony will be taken at the beginning of each agenda item after the subject has been announced by the chair and explained by staff. Any citizens who wishes to speak may speak one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item. Public testimony will then be closed and the topic will be given to the governing body for possible action. At this point, only city council members and staff may discuss the current agenda item unless the council member moves to allow another person to speak and there is unanimous consent from the council. Questions from council members, however, may be directed at staff or a member of the public through the presiding officer at any time. Do we have anyone at City Hall who wishes to speak to something not on the agenda?
We have nobody here, Kelsey, to speak.
Okay, thank you. I think last time we did this, we were able to see, and just to be clear, right now we can't see what you guys are doing over on your side at all. We do have a proclamation today for Arbor Day. Do we have anyone who has been assigned to read that? Tom, would you read the Arbor Day proclamation?
Okay, I'd certainly be happy to.
Thank you.
I've only proofread it once, so if I make a mistake, forgive me. This celebrates Arbor Day, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify the community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the governing body of the city of Vermillion, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim April 24, 2020 as Arbor Day in Vermillion, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Be it further resolved that all citizens are urged to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of current and future generations. Dated at Vermillion, South Dakota, the 6th day of April, 2020.
Thank you, Tom. Is there anyone there to say anything about Arbor Day plans?
It should be Jim, but obviously he's not there. Please, in lieu, I'll accept it because I am on the tree board, and I thank you all for it. Even though I'm afraid, like other things, most of the activities will be curtailed. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Moving on to public hearings. Item 6A, transfer of the retail on-sale liquor license from the Backed Group LLC to PR Vermillion LLC for Pizza Ranch at 912 North Dakota Street.
This is Mike. I'll get this started. The application was received for the transfer of the on-sale liquor license from Backed Group LLC to PR Vermillion LLC for Pizza Ranch located at 912 North Dakota. The retail on-sale liquor license is for the licensing period that will expire December 31st, 2020. The council has the ability to transfer the license on two criteria: suitable applicant and suitable location. As to suitable applicant, the corporate officers of Pizza Ranch Vermillion LLC and Backed Group LLC are Eric Van Vorst and Brian Tucker. Their officers are the same for both corporations, and when we did the transfer of the liquor license to Backed Group LLC from Brian Engelman in June 3rd, 2019, the police chief's memo stated there was no information to preclude the transfer of the license to the new owners. With respect to the location criteria, an on-sale liquor license had been issued to this location in the past. The notice of hearing and police chief's memo included in the packet, along with an email from Brian Tucker regarding the control measures that they planned are included in the packet. The transfer fee of $150 to the city of Vermillion has been paid. Administration would recommend the transfer of the retail on-sale liquor license unless input from the public hearing provides additional information. The email from Brian requested the transfer. They said they have permission from Pizza Ranch Incorporated to serve alcoholic beverages to the general public. They would be using Johnson Brothers Distributing for purchasing their alcoholic beverages to make sure they're abiding by the law, to ensure they're not serving anyone underage. They will program on their point of sale system with register keys to track and measure quantities sold. He wrote that they would enforce a strict policy that only store managers and store leads will be able to sell alcoholic beverages.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to comment on this? Looks like no.
There's no one in the audience. I know Brian said he was going to try to follow us online, and if there was questions, maybe he could get them emailed in.
Okay, so somebody would just let me know if they see anything like that pop up. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Move approval by Julia.
Second by Brian.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye on the roll call.
Kelsey, call your
Aye.
wise. Oh, missed it. Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen, Ward, Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Motion carries.
Kelsey, before you move on, so it looks like Brian is on the YouTube channel, so if anybody did have a question for him to follow up on anything, it looks like he is there to respond.
Okay. Didn't seem like there were any questions, but are anything before we move on? Okay, sounds great. Thank you, guys. All right. Moving to old business, item 7A, review and possible continuation of ordinance 1413, emergency ordinance to address COVID-19. And John?
Thank you. Excuse me. As the council recalls, recently when you adopted ordinance 1413, there was a section in there which provided that every regular city council meeting during the 60 days that this ordinance could be in effect, the city council would review that and determine if any changes were made to the ordinance or need to be made to the ordinance, and that would be done via resolution. That was in the language that was utilized to set up the ordinance, that changes could be made via resolution. At this point in time, we did include in your packet a rough resolution, not knowing what it might be. We hadn't had any comments about changing any sections. It's quite blank. I mean, it kind of lays out the framework of how we might set it up, but it does not include any specific language. I would note in the time since this ordinance was adopted, we've had only one call in regard to an establishment that someone felt might be potentially violating it. The police did go to the situation, and there was no violation there. So we've had, as to the best of the city's knowledge, good compliance with respect to this ordinance. But as part of the adoption of the ordinance, you'll see this every time during this time period, an opportunity to make changes to it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions and go from there.
Any questions from the council? Rich?
In lieu of our noon meeting, when we talk with Jim and the closures of the various parks and stuff, that wouldn't affect this ordinance at all? We don't have to put anything in there saying that's in effect also? I'm asking John.
We had a hard time hearing you, Rich, but I think what you're referencing was the closing of the playgrounds, and if that would make a difference with regard to the ordinance. And I don't believe that would, that wasn't something that was included in the ordinance. That was just something that was done, I guess, administratively in consent and with input from the city council. So I don't believe that would necessitate a change to the ordinance. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did, and thank you.
Any other questions from the council or comments? Right, seeing none, John, if that's the case, we just move on. We don't have to take any sort of vote on that, right? If we're not doing anything.
I'm looking at Mr. McCall, but I believe that's correct. Unless you're making any changes, I think you can just move on to the next agenda item. Or would you rather that there was a... Okay. The city attorney says you don't need to make a motion, that you can move on, and the minutes would reflect that no action was taken.
Okay, great, thank you. Moving on to new business, item A, update on downtown infrastructure project or streetscape project from Jose.
Thank you. As all of you guys know, there's been a project going on with bid board number 2, or bid number 2, which is regarding the possible downtown streetscape project. Recently, the city, at the March 16th meeting, the city council received an update where the bid board was at that point. At that point, we were interviewing consultants, and at that meeting, the council was made aware that the bid board chose to work with Stockwell engineers. Since then, the city and Stockwell have been working together to develop an agreement for the professional work for the project. Excuse me. This document previously mentioned sets expectations that the city will have and how Stockwell will be achieving those expectations. The expected end result is to have a set of construction documents that are developed with a lot of public input throughout the entire process. In order to achieve this, Stockwell has proposed to have several public meetings throughout the entire project. The first meeting would be a multi-day design charrette that would allow stakeholders and the public an opportunity to provide their opinions and comments on how the downtown area should be improved. In addition to that, Stockwell is also proposing additional meetings at different times of the design process to show the public how the project is progressing. Stockwell is also proposing to have individual meetings with property owners along the project area to address specific concerns that these owners may have regarding their property or areas near their properties. In addition to all of those meetings, the document would also be requiring Stockwell to do the typical project portions, which would be a topographical survey, cost estimates, actually developing the construction documents and managing the bid process. The bid board at this point is reviewing the document. They will be meeting hopefully this week, and we are hoping to have something to the council for your guys' decision at the April 20th meeting. At this point, there's no cost to the city for the project. The anticipated cost for the services outlined in the document being presented at this point are $238,318. This would be funded out of the Second Penny Fund. This cost was included in the original project cost discussed by the City Council at previous meetings. There's no City Council action necessary at this time. The intent of this agenda item is to inform the City Council and the public of where the project is at this point.
Thank you, Jose. Are there any questions from the council? All right. Thanks so much, Jose. Was this the item that Tom had a question about?
No.
Okay.
Did you have a
Sorry.
question?
All right, we'll move on to item 8B, agreement for professional services with Helms and Associates for hangar taxi lanes reconstruction project at Harold Davidson Field. And Jose again.
Thank you. This year, we are scheduled to do the reconstruction of the hangar taxi lane at the city's airport. In February of 2019, the City Council entered into an agreement with Helms and Associates for the design of the hangar taxi lane reconstruction. This agreement being presented at this point is for the bidding and construction administration of the hangar taxi lane reconstruction project. This is something that we have always done. It's actually something that's required by the FAA to have. But this is that portion. This is that agreement for the CA work. The agreement with Helms and Associates would be for $49,762.73. The city would initially be paying for the entire cost. At a later point, the city would be reimbursed 95% of the $49,000. The city would essentially only be paying for 5% of the cost, or close to $2,500. Administration recommends allowing the mayor to sign the agreement for professional services for airport project AIP 3-46-0056-13-2019.
Thank you, Jose. Any questions from the council on this? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Howard moves to entertain the motion.
We've got a motion from Howard.
Second.
Was that Steve?
Yes, sorry.
Second from Steve. All those in favor, please say aye at the roll call. Aye.
Helwig.
Aye.
Holland.
Aye.
Humphrey.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
Sorensen. Ward.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Motion carries. Item 8C, agreement to change the designation and maintenance of the sanitary sewer from North Norbeck Street to 310 feet east along the vacated right-of-way of Madison Street. Jose again.
Thank you. In 2014, as part of the construction of North Norbeck Street from East Clark to Roosevelt Street, the city constructed an 8-inch sanitary sewer going east from Norbeck along the vacated Madison Street right-of-way. In 2018, Han approached the city. Han Development is actually the property owner along the entire periphery of that sanitary sewer. They approached the city and requested that Madison Street right-of-way be vacated so that additional space would be available to construct future apartments in the area. The city council vacated the street but kept a utility easement over the city's sanitary sewer and a privately owned gas line. In 2019, the city was made aware by Han of the layout for the new apartment buildings to be constructed along the north side of the now vacated Madison Street. These apartments were found to be outside of the utility easements, which is good, but between 5 and 10 feet from the sanitary sewer, which is not good. Since then, the city has been discussing the possibility with Han of the sanitary sewer being redesignated to a sewer service rather than a sewer main. The proposed agreement, as I mentioned, would be changing the designation of the sanitary sewer from a main to a sewer service. The change in designation will remove the city's responsibility for maintenance and ownership and place this responsibility on the owner of all of the adjoining properties, which would be GA Han Development or Han. Changing the designation will not adversely affect the public. Han's properties are the only ones that will be served by the current sewer. Additionally, if the sewer would be extended east, which would be extremely difficult with the proximity of the new apartments, the only property that would be serviced is owned by Han as well. Based on these facts, the sewer currently and in the future will function as a sewer service and not as a public sanitary sewer. Financial consideration, once both parties have signed the document, city will file the document at the Register of Deeds. The filing fee will be $30. Administration recommends allowing the mayor to sign the agreement to change the designation and maintenance of the sanitary sewer from North Norbeck Street to 310 feet east along the vacated right-of-way of Madison Street.
Thank you, Jose. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Steve?
Jose, can you put the sky shot up there again, the satellite view?
I can't, but I have a drawing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So this right here is the sanitary sewer that we're talking about. These
Can't
are
see it right now.
Yep, and these are the
There.
apartments that are there now.
Okay.
Han would actually be putting some apartments along here, and I'm going to switch this on you here. But I don't know how easy it is for you to look at this, but this line here again, that highlighted yellow, that's actually the city sanitary sewer, the one that we're discussing at this point. And this here, just north of it, is actually the new apartment building. So you can see that it's within 5 to 10 feet, depending on where you measure it, and the building's a little cockeyed, and so is the sanitary sewer line. So that we're concerned with the proximity to the sanitary sewer line from that building.
Oh, okay. So, can you go back to the shot you just showed there again?
This one?
Yeah, point me north. Which way is north? Okay, oh, all right, up. Cool. All right, so will this change affect in any way the ability to develop this land?
No. In all honesty, this sanitary sewer that we're vacating, it could only extend up to there maybe, at the furthest. This sanitary sewer, we are extending it all the way up to here. And then in the future, this sewer that's way up north, that's actually going to be coming down, tying there again, and servicing this entire area. This is the one that's going to be the deepest one, and that's the one that's going to be functioning for most of or providing service for most of this area. So we feel pretty comfortable that the area could be serviced in the future.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none. Oh, Rich?
I was just going to move approval.
Okay, wonderful. We've got a motion by Rich. Do we have a second?
Second by Steve.
Second by Steve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen, Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Motion carries. Moving on to bid openings, we have fuel quotes. Mike?
I think Don might put some up on the screen. I did email them out to everybody earlier. We received 3 quotes. First from Brunick Service, 4,300 gallons of unleaded, $1.20 per gallon. Item 2 is the 1,000 gallons of unleaded regular, $1.45. Item 3, number 2, diesel fuel, 3,000 gallons, $1.55. Item 4, 1,000 gallons of number 2 diesel fuel clear, $1.80. The second quotes were received from Jerry's Service on item 1, $1.80. Item 2, $2.10. Item 3, $1.65. Item 4, $1.95. And other quote from Stern Oil on item 1, 88.15 cents. Item 2, $1.03.32. Item 4, $1.34.92 cents. And that was 3. Item 4, $1.65.5 cents. Looks like Stern is low on all 4 items.
Move to accept the low bid.
Second, Catherine.
Got a motion by Steve and a second by Catherine. All in favor, please signify by saying aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen, Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Powell,
Approval of low bids carries. On bid opening 9B for the West Main Street lights. Mike?
I'll do it.
Jose's going to get that.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so in October 2019, the City Council approved a resolution of necessity for the construction of the West Main Street lighting project. This is obviously along West Main Street from Stanford west to city limits. We would be installing 3 street lights on this street with this project. On April 1st, 2020, bids were open for the West Main Street lighting project. The bid tabulation is attached for your review. We did send 9 bids to potential bidders, or 9 proposals to potential bidders. We only received 2 bids. The low bid was from Bear Inc., DBA Todd's Electric Service, in the amount of $10,045.60. Excuse me. The city did not have this project budgeted for in the 2020 budget. As a result, we're going to be revising this, the budget, I guess, or asking for the budget to be revised to include this cost. Administration recommends awarding the West Main Street Light Project to Bear Inc., DBA Todd's Electric Service, in the amount of $10,045.60.
Are there any questions from the council or a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second by Helwig.
Got a motion by Holland and a second by Helwig. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
City managers report. John?
Thank you. A couple different openings on some of our boards and commissions I'm going to run through here real quick. For any of our boards and commissions, we do ask individuals to complete an expression of interest form, and that is available through the city's website. The first one is our Historic Preservation Commission. We do have one term. It's a term that's been vacated, so this term would last until August of 2021. Again, we'd ask that individuals complete an expression of interest form. If possible, return that by April 16th so the City Council can make appointment at the April 20th meeting. Our next one is our Human Relations Commission. We actually have 4 openings on this one coming up here. One is for a post-secondary student position, and that is a 1-year term. We also have 2 3-year terms. The individual's term is expiring, so we have 2 3-year terms, and then we do have 1 term that is also for 1 year. It is not reserved for the post-secondary student. These terms we anticipate, if the City Council could make appointment at your May 4th meeting, that expression of interest forms are due on April 30th. And the final one is our Library Board. There are 2 terms that are expiring in May. These terms are for 3 years. Again, we ask individuals complete an expression of interest form so that the City Council could make appointment at the May 4th meeting. Please have those expression of interest forms turned in by April 30th. Included with your City Council packet was information about our sanitary sewer rates. Annually, staff does a review of those based on the winter consumption to determine if the water usage is high enough with the multiplier in their debt service, or excuse me, a multiplier in sanitary sewer rate to make the debt service payment. Our current multiplier is 128%, and we have taken a look at that, and it is sufficient to generate the debt service payments that we would have during 2020. It's not going to quite meet up to the budget in terms of building up our reserves as we had anticipated, but we did not propose a change in the sanitary sewer rates at this time. Customers may experience a change in their rate if their water consumption this winter was significantly higher or lower than what it was last winter. So if you were a new resident or you've had a change in your household that's impacted your water usage, you could see a change that way, but the same multiplier will be utilized. The curbside recycling, we did pause that for residential customers as of this week, and we will begin that service again once the pandemic experience, I guess, is over with. And then if you are bored or have a few minutes on your time available, there's a very important thing that you can do for our community, for our county, and that is complete your census. It only takes a few minutes, and we're encouraging everybody to do that. I think James looked at the numbers today, and I believe our county was 5th in the state with regard to our response rate. So we'd like to be number 1. So if everybody would take a few minutes to complete their census, it can usually be done in about 10 minutes, and we'd like to get as best of an accurate count as we can for our city and our county going forward. That's all that I have.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yes, we need to be number 1. I don't understand why we're not yet, so it's a good goal for all of us. Moving down to invoices payable. Are there any questions for Mike about the invoices?
Move we pay our bills. Catherine?
Second by Helwig.
Got a motion and a second to pay our bills. All those in favor, please say aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Helwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Motion passes. Consensus agenda. Item A, set a public hearing date of April 20th, 2020 for a retail on-sale malt beverage and South Dakota wine license for Baby Inc., or Baby Street 2 Inc. for Carrie's Bar at 18 West Main Street.
Move approval of the consensus agenda. Catherine.
Second by Hellwig.
Got a motion and a second to approve the consensus agenda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Hellwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell. Yeah, I think we got everybody.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't able to hear. All right, motion passes.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion by Ward and a second by Holland to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye at the roll.
Collier Wise,
Aye.
Hellwig,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sorensen, Ward,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
All right, we're adjourned.